Softly, let us drift into a world where sacred fires once burned with quiet devotion, and altars held the silent whispers of ancient hearts. In long-forgotten temples and hidden groves, people kindled flames to honor the divine, to seek guidance, and to soothe the spirit. Tonight, we will wander gently through these hidden sanctuaries, where the warmth of forgotten fires and the glow of quiet altars reach out to us like a tender embrace. Let the smoke curl in your imagination, carrying you to a place of serenity and timeless calm. As your eyelids grow heavy, imagine the soft flicker of candlelight and the gentle crackle of fire, guiding you through ancient rituals, sacred promises, and the delicate poetry of devotion. Drift slowly, and let the spirit of these hallowed places cradle you into peaceful rest. If the warmth of these stories reaches your heart, comment below where you are listening from, or subscribe to wander with us through more nights of calm dreams. The night is gentle. The sky above stretches wide, soft and endless. Stars shimmer like scattered pearls, and the moon rests like a quiet lantern, watching over the earth. All around, the hills breathe in silence, their shapes softened by the silver veil of starlight. A forest stands near, tall and patient, its branches whispering in the mild wind. In this tender hush, a clearing waits, where the first embers of sacred fire glow. The fire is not fierce. It is not wild. It flickers like the heartbeat of the earth itself. The flames lean upward, orange and gold, curling in thin ribbons of light. They rise, then bend, then rise again as if in slow prayer. Sparks lift, weightless, and vanish into the wide, dark sky. Every spark seems like a voice, carrying a wish, carrying a dream. Long ago, in forgotten times, people gathered here. Their feet pressed gently into the soil. Their hands brought wood, smooth branches, and fragrant herbs. They placed them carefully, with reverence, into the cradle of the flame. The air filled with the soft crackle of burning cedar, with the tender perfume of sweet resin. And as the smoke drifted upward, their hearts grew still. They believed that the fire was more than light. It was a bridge, a living thread that reached from earth to sky. The fire was a messenger, carrying what the tongue could not say. When sorrow was too heavy, the fire lifted it. When joy overflowed, the fire bore it upward, shining. When silence was enough, the fire simply kept them company, steady and warm. In the glow, faces became calm. Lines of worry softened. Eyes reflected gold, as though each soul carried a tiny sun inside. Children leaned against their mothers. Elders closed their eyes and breathed slowly, their lips moving in prayers as old as the stones around them. And though no one spoke loudly, though no one rushed, all felt the same rhythm in their chest. The fire gave them a shared heart. Imagine now that you are there. The ground is soft beneath you, covered with pine needles and gentle earth. The night is cool, yet the warmth of the flame rests against your skin like a tender blanket. You hear the slow crackle, steady and kind. You see the wood glowing, deep red at the core, golden at the edges, breathing like a living being. You breathe with it slowly, calmly. The people lift their eyes to the heavens. They do not see stars only as distant suns. They see them as watchful eyes, as silent listeners, as sparks of the divine. And as the fire rises, it seems to speak to those stars, answering their patient gaze. The smoke carries whispers upward, curling and disappearing into the endless dark. Every thread of smoke feels like a hand reaching into mystery. In many lands, the first light of fire was held sacred. In the temples of old, priests and priestesses guarded flames that were never allowed to die. They were tended night and day, through storm, through silence, through the turning of years. For the people believed that if the sacred flame went out, a blessing would fade with it. But if it burned, steady and pure, the world itself would remember its balance. The fire was more than heat. It was memory. It was presence. It was the voice of the unseen. Some said that the fire was born from the sun, a gift carried down to earth. When the day ended, when shadows grew long, the fire was the sun's child, keeping watch until morning. Others believed that the flame came from lightning, the sky's sudden spark striking stone or tree, leaving behind its glowing seed. In either way, it was not man's invention. It was a gift, a tender thread between earth and heaven. And so each night, as flames rose, people sang softly. Their songs were simple, filled with gratitude, filled with rest. No grand choirs, no loud voices. Just the murmur of human breath weaving with the rustle of the trees and the low song of the fire. A lullaby for the world itself. Think of the flame again, how it moves without hurry. It sways as if listening, as if nodding to each prayer. It bends, then straightens, as though bowing gently. Every movement is unhurried, like the slow beating of a heart. The fire teaches patience. The fire teaches calm. Some elders told stories by its glow. They spoke of how the first dawn broke from darkness, how light was born at the edge of nothingness. They said that this fire was a small mirror of that first light. That when the world was created, it was not with thunder but with a soft spark, a gentle flare, like a candle being lit in endless night. This was the ember of beginnings, the ember of all things. To sit by it was to sit near the memory of creation itself. Children listened, eyes heavy with sleep, their faces painted gold by the flame. Their dreams carried them into fields of light, where rivers shone like molten glass and stars sang without words. The fire prepared their spirits for gentle sleep, guiding them inward, guiding them home. The night deepened. The forest grew still. Even the owls seemed hushed, as though they too bowed before the flame. The stars wheeled slowly above, and the fire continued its quiet work. No one feared the dark, for the ember was there. No one felt alone, for the ember kept watch. And as hours passed, the fire did not vanish. It softened. It sank into itself. It became red coal, glowing like hidden jewels, humming with quiet strength. The people would cover it with ash, not to smother but to protect. And beneath the pale layer, the ember slept. It would awaken again when morning came, or when the next prayer was ready. The ember was a reminder. Light never dies. It only rests. It only changes its shape, moving from flame to glow, from glow to smoke, from smoke to memory. And memory itself is a kind of flame, hidden within the soul. So when the people left the clearing, their hearts carried embers too. They walked back to their huts, their caves, their quiet shelters, and in the silence of their own hearts, they felt the flame still breathing. Even when eyes closed, the light remained steady, calm, eternal. Now imagine yourself drifting in that same warmth. Feel the glow resting on your skin, like morning sunlight. Breathe with it, slow and steady. Let the ember become your breath, your heartbeat, your dream. No rush, no burden, only the ember of the first light, guiding you into stillness. The hills remain quiet. The stars watch gently. The forest whispers a final song, slow and tender. The ember glows softly in the dark, neither fading nor burning too bright. It simply is. It waits calm and eternal like the soul itself. Now rest. Now drift. The ember of the first light is with you. Let it carry you. Let it soften you. Let it guide you into the gentle sea of dreams. The night continues. The stars return. The ember glows. And you sleep. The night opens gently. A soft wind moves across the hills, carrying the hush of grass bending, carrying the cool breath of stone. Above, the sky unfolds like a great tapestry, embroidered with countless lights. The stars shine as though scattered by a patient hand, each one a pearl placed in perfect stillness. Their glow is not sharp. It is tender, diffused, and calm, as if each star longs only to soothe the eyes that look upon it. Beneath this canopy, altars rest in silence. Some are simple stones stacked by steady hands, shaped only by care and time. Others are smooth, carved with marks that speak no words, yet carry memory deeper than speech. They stand quietly in clearings on hilltops and along riverbanks where the world opens itself to the heavens. At night, when the sky draws near, these altars seem to breathe with the stars above them. Stone and light, earth and sky, touching in stillness. Imagine yourself walking toward one now. The path is soft underfoot, dusted with leaves, pale in moonlight. You hear the quiet song of crickets, the far call of a night bird, the sigh of trees shifting their branches. Each sound is gentle, each step unhurried. You come to the clearing, and there, waiting, is the altar. Its surface gleams faintly, bathed in silver from the sky. The stars above appear to lean closer, as if curious, as if listening. Long ago, people gathered here. They brought bowls of grain, fruit still warm from the sun, vessels of water drawn from pure springs. They placed them carefully on the stone, offerings simple and sincere. No gift was too small. Even a single flower, even a breath released with love, was enough. What mattered was the heart that carried it, the devotion that shone like fire in quiet hands. The people looked upward as they prayed. To them, the constellations were not distant fire, but living stories. The great bear, the swan in flight, the hunter's bow, each shape was more than light. It was memory of ancestors, whispers of gods, messages written in the dark. By lifting their eyes, they felt woven into that infinite fabric, not separate, but part of the whole. Each star was a thread, and each soul was bound to it, luminous and eternal. The altar stood as a meeting place, not only between people and the heavens, but between moments of life. Births were honored here. Vows were spoken here. Farewells to the departed were whispered here. And through it all, the stars bore silent witness. Their patient glow was constant, unchanging, reminding all who gathered that life moves gently within a greater design. Imagine kneeling at such an altar now. The stone is cool beneath your hand, smooth with age. The air carries the scent of earth, of distant pine, of night flowers opening their pale petals. The wind moves softly, brushing your cheek like a blessing. Above, the stars shimmer without end. You feel their stillness settle in your chest, slowing your breath, loosening the weight of your thoughts. You place nothing on the altar, yet you feel as though your very presence is an offering. To stand beneath the stars, to breathe, to be, this itself is devotion. In many lands, altars were built on heights, where the horizon could be seen without barrier. It was said that prayers traveled more easily there, carried by winds that touched both mountain and cloud. Yet even in valleys, even in quiet clearings, the same truth held. The altar was a doorway, not because of where it stood, but because of the heart that approached it. The stars above did not measure distance. They listened to love, to longing, to gratitude. Some nights, fires were kindled beside the altar. The flames rose like a second constellation, mirroring the heavens. The smoke drifted upward, carrying prayers in soft spirals. It was believed that the stars read those spirals, understood their shapes, and returned blessings in silence. Each flicker of fire was a conversation, unspoken yet complete. Other nights there was no fire. Only candles or lamps filled with oil, their glow gentle and steady. Placed on the stone, they became stars of the earth, tiny lights joining the vastness above. To look at them was to see a reflection, the boundless sky mirrored in a single flame. A reminder that even in the smallest spark, the infinite was present. The elders told that vows made beneath the stars carried special strength. a promise spoken with the heavens, as witness was tied to the eternal. It could not be broken easily, for the stars themselves had heard it. So lovers came, whispering their devotion in the hush of night. Warriors came, vowing to protect their people. Farmers came, promising to honor the earth that fed them. Each vow rose upward like breath on a cold night, invisible yet lasting. And so the altars became keepers of memory. Even when no one stood beside them, even when seasons passed, they held the echo of every word, every gift, every prayer. They were like stones placed in the river of time, unmoving, yet shaping the flow. Think now of the stars above you, how they have watched through ages, how they have seen countless lives begin and end. And yet their light remains steady, pouring down without judgment, without weariness. The altar beneath them is like your own heart, silent, patient, waiting to hold what you choose to place upon it. It asks for nothing. It receives everything with grace. You rest your gaze on the sky. The constellations wheel slowly, moving as they have since the dawn of memory. Each one seems to drift, yet they always return, faithful to their paths. Your breath matches this rhythm. Inhale as stars rise. Exhale as they sink toward the horizon. Time itself feels gentle here, like the rocking of a cradle, like the flow of a soft river beneath the moon. And as you linger, the altar glows faintly in your mind. Not with fire, not with lamplight, but with something softer. A presence, a warmth, as though the stone remembers you, as though the stars recognize you. You realize that devotion is not a duty, but a quiet belonging. To be here is to be part of the whole, just as the altar is part of the earth, just as the stars are part of the sky. The night grows deeper. The wind calms. The stars above seem closer, brighter, as if drawing you into their stillness. The altar is silent, but its silence is full, like a well of peace. You feel yourself sinking into that silence, like a leaf drifting onto calm water. No need for words, no need for offerings. Your very breath is enough. Your very being is enough. Slowly the constellations shift. The hunter lowers his bow. The swan glides across the river of the sky. The bear turns gently, patient and strong. The sky continues its quiet dance, as it always has, as it always will. And you remain beneath it, safe, calm, eternal in this moment. The altar, the stars, the silence, they are all one. And you are within them. Let the stillness carry you. Let the stars guide you into rest. The altars beneath the night sky will remain, keeping watch, holding memory. They will shine even when your eyes close, even when dreams take you. For devotion never fades. It only changes its shape, becoming breath, becoming sleep, becoming peace. So now drift onward. Rest as the stars return. Rest as the altars keep their quiet glow. Rest as night folds around you, soft and endless. The sky is wide. The stars are kind. The altars wait beneath them, steady as stone, gentle as sleep. And you drift like a star yourself into the boundless calm. The night is soft. The world is wrapped in stillness, as though every sound has slowed to a gentle breath. Above, the stars glimmer like beads of silver scattered on velvet. The moon lingers, pale and patient, its light bathing the earth in a calm glow. The forest holds its silence, and only the low hum of insects rises now and then, like a quiet chant beneath the sky. In the heart of this stillness, a flame is born. At first it is small, a trembling spark, a faint shimmer in the dark. Then it grows, leaning upward, stretching its golden arms. The fire takes shape in gentle flickers, never rushing, never loud. It hums softly, like breath through hollow reeds. Its glow spreads, warming the air, painting shadows that sway like dancers on stone walls. People gather close. They sit around the flame, their faces calm, their eyes softened by the glow. The firelight wraps around them, weaving each soul into its circle. No one feels apart. No one feels alone. The flame is the center, and all hearts beat with its steady rhythm. The fire does not speak in words, yet its voice is clear. It crackles, hums, sighs, and whispers. To those who listen, it tells stories older than memory. It speaks of dawns long past, when the first people lit flames to push back the night. It tells of ancestors who leaned close, offering prayers, speaking promises, leaving their devotion in sparks that rose to the sky. Every ember is a voice, and the flame gathers them all, carrying them forward through time. Imagine leaning closer now. You hear the small pops, the gentle sighs. Each sound is like a phrase in an endless story, a language without letters, yet known to the heart. The fire whispers of journeys across mountains, across seas, across deserts. It speaks of those who struggled and of those who sang. It tells how each life, though brief, left a trace, a glow, like sparks drifting upward before vanishing into the night. The elders say the flame remembers. Every fire, though new, carries the memory of the first. When sparks leap, they are not only light but also voices. Voices of the ones who came before. When the flame sways, it is not only air, but also the gentle motion of stories weaving through time. The fire is not bound to the earth alone. It reaches beyond, into the heavens, carrying what words cannot hold. Children listen, their eyes heavy with sleep. The glow of the flame rests on their cheeks, warm as a gentle hand. They do not understand every whisper, yet their hearts hear. The fire sings of belonging, of being held by something greater, of being part of a story that never ends. In their dreams, the flames will guide them into wide meadows, into shining rivers, into skies where stars drift like lanterns. The flame also whispers promises. Long ago, vows were spoken beside it. Sacred oaths made with fire as witness. People promised to honor the land that fed them. They promised to protect those they loved. They promised to walk gently, to remember the gifts given by heaven and earth. The fire heard each vow. And though the people have long returned to dust, the fire remembers, keeping their words alive in its endless voice. Imagine your own breath now, moving with the flame. Slow, steady, rising and falling. Each inhale is like the flame leaning upward. Each exhale is like the flame bending back, resting. Breath and fire become one, both simple, both eternal. In this rhythm there is peace. Some say the flame is a bridge. Between worlds, between times, between hearts. It takes what is heavy and lifts it upward. It takes what is hidden and gives it light. When sorrow is near, the flame listens, soft and patient. When joy is present, the flame reflects it, glowing brighter. It never turns away. It never forgets. It is a friend that speaks without words and hears without judgment. Now picture the sparks rising. Tiny embers, glowing for a moment before vanishing into the night sky. Each spark is like a prayer released, like a soul finding its way. They drift upward, weightless, returning to the stars from which they came. It is said that the stars are embers that never die, flames carried high into eternity. To watch them rise is to watch memory return home. The fire hums on, steady, calm. Its light plays gently on the stones, on the trees, on the faces that sit nearby. It whispers to each person in their own way. To some, it tells of courage. To others, it speaks of forgiveness. To some, it is only warmth, only comfort, only a reminder that they are not alone. Each hears what is needed, though the flame never changes its voice. The night deepens. Shadows stretch longer. The air cools, yet the flame holds its warmth, offering it freely, never tiring. The people drift into silence, their heads bowing, their eyes closing. The fire remains, watching over them. It whispers still, speaking to dreams now, guiding spirits through gentle pathways of rest. And slowly, the flame itself begins to soften. Its tall tongues sink lower, its bright edges fade into embers. The wood glows deep red, like hidden jewels beneath ash. The crackles grow faint, like the last notes of a lullaby. But the whisper remains. It does not vanish. It moves inward, quiet, becoming memory, becoming breath. The people will leave the circle soon. They will walk back to their homes, carrying the warmth in their chests. Even as the fire sleeps beneath its ash, it continues. For the flame is never lost. It moves from wood to ember, from ember to smoke, from smoke to memory, from memory into the soul. And in the soul it glows without end. Now rest with that thought. The whispering flame is within you. Its warmth is your own breath. Its light is your own heart. Its story is your own memory, stretching back through time, reaching forward into dreams. No darkness can undo it. No silence can still it. The flame is eternal, gentle, guiding. So drift with it. Let its whispers carry you. Let its warmth surround you. The fire will keep its watch, as stars return, as night deepens, as dreams unfold. You are safe in its glow. You are at peace in its voice. The night rests. The flame whispers. And you sleep. The night has deepened. The stars are steady and kind. A stillness covers the land, as if the earth itself has closed its eyes. In the quiet of this hour, a circle of old stones surrounds a simple fire. Its flame is small, steady, and unhurried. From the embers, smoke begins to rise. It does not rush. It does not struggle. It simply curls upward, a gentle gray ribbon reaching toward the endless sky. The smoke drifts like breath, soft and slow. It carries with it the unseen voices of prayers, whispered from countless hearts across countless ages. Each breath of smoke holds a secret longing, a hope, a blessing, or a farewell. As you watch the smoke rise, you feel its calm weightlessness. It does not cling to the earth. It does not look back. It drifts, free and faithful, toward the stars. Long ago, people gathered around sacred fires, believing the smoke was a messenger. They thought it could carry words where no voice could reach, upward, across the sky, into the quiet listening of the heavens. Every flame, every curl of smoke, was part of a conversation older than memory. A mother might place a grain of incense on the fire, sending a wish for her child's health. An elder might scatter dried herbs into the coals, offering thanks for the harvest. A traveler might kneel, holding a small branch, asking for safe passage on the roads ahead. The fire never judged. The smoke never refused. It lifted all prayers, great and small, with the same tenderness. Even now, as you imagine this scene, the air feels full of those ancient voices. They are not loud. They do not disturb. They whisper like soft winds in tall grass. They linger, then drift away, leaving the silence even more peaceful than before. In many lands, across oceans and deserts, smoke was seen as a bridge. Among the old temples of India, fragrant sandalwood was burned, the curling smoke thought to awaken the gods gently, like morning sunlight on closed eyes. In the mountains of Tibet, juniper smoke was offered, believed to cleanse the air and open paths for wandering spirits. In the sacred fires of the Hebrew temple, incense was set upon golden altars, the rising smoke carrying silent prayers into the unseen presence of the divine. And in the forests of the Americas, sage and cedar were burned, their smoke purifying, protecting, and guiding those who walked with reverence. Everywhere, in every tongue, people knew. The fire listens. The smoke carries. The prayer continues beyond the breath of the one who spoke it. Imagine sitting beside such a fire. The ground is cool beneath you. The air is gentle, touched with the faint sweetness of herbs. Above you, stars open like lanterns, spread across the night. You watch the smoke rise in winding patterns. Sometimes it sways like a dancer. Sometimes it drifts straight and still, like a quiet pillar. Every shape is temporary, yet each is beautiful. You breathe with it. Inhale as the smoke gathers. Exhale as it climbs higher, disappearing into the sky. The rhythm is slow. The rhythm is kind. It feels like a soft lullaby, written not in words, but in the movement of air itself. There is no need to speak aloud here. Even the silent heart has a voice, and the smoke knows how to carry it. Perhaps you think of someone you love. Perhaps you remember a wish you once had, small and unspoken. The smoke receives it gently, and without effort it drifts upward, weightless, free. The prayers of all who sit by the fire mingle together. No one is left alone. The smoke blends them into a single rising stream, carrying them into the mystery above. The fire glows, the embers pulse, and time itself seems to pause. Every flicker is a heartbeat. Every curl of smoke is a breath. Far in the distance, a soft chant begins. It is not sharp, not commanding. It hums low and steady, like the earth itself singing beneath the night sky. The voices are simple. They repeat again and again until words become tones, and tones become a calm river of sound. The smoke and the chant move together. One rises through the air. The other flows through the silence. Together they weave a gentle fabric of prayer. You rest within it as if wrapped in a soft blanket, warmed by faith, cooled by peace. In this moment, the fire becomes more than flame. It becomes a memory of all who ever prayed before it. It becomes a mirror, reflecting the quiet strength within your own heart. It becomes a guide, teaching you to release, to rise, to trust the unseen path. The smoke twists and fades into the night. Yet its journey does not end. It drifts beyond the reach of sight, carrying silent songs to the hidden corners of creation. The fire waits. The stars wait. The night listens. And you too are part of this stillness. Your breath is smoke. Your heart is fire. Your silence is prayer. Slowly the chanting softens. The fire grows smaller, the embers dimmer. But the peace remains, deep and unbroken. The night is vast, but it feels gentle, like a wide hand holding the earth. You rest within that hand, safe and untroubled. The smoke has risen. The prayers have flown. And now only calm remains. Let the last curls of incense fade into the stars. Let the silence grow soft and full. Let your spirit drift with the smoke, higher and higher, until it is held in the arms of rest. The fire dims. The night deepens. The stars keep watch. Now let us drift onward, into the next quiet chapter of the dream. The night is hushed. A tender stillness lingers between the trees. The moonlight filters down in silver threads, weaving soft patterns across the forest floor. You step gently, as though the earth itself is listening. Each footfall sinks into moss, cool and damp, like the breath of the forest. The air smells faintly of pine, cedar, and earth, long undisturbed. Somewhere deep inside this quiet land lies a grove, hidden, sacred, untouched by time. Here, the wind carries whispers instead of words. Here, devotion lives not in crowded temples, but in stones clothed with moss, and in altars guarded by trees. The grove is a secret, yet it is not far. It waits in silence, ready for those who move slowly, those who come with reverent hearts. Long ago, travelers would wander into such places, guided by instinct more than sight. The forest would lead them, through winding paths, over small streams, beneath branches that arched like gateways. Step by step, they would feel the air grow stiller, thicker with meaning. Until suddenly, the trees would part and the hidden grove would appear. At its center stood altars of stone, not carved by human hands, but shaped by nature herself. Some were flat slabs, softened by moss. Others were broken pillars, left behind from ages no one remembered. Each was quiet, yet each seemed to breathe with memory. Here, people brought no gold, no jewels, no grand offerings. They brought only their silence, their patience, their breath. They would kneel before the moss, press their foreheads to the earth, and let their hearts speak in stillness. The altars of the hidden grove were different from those of great temples. They did not shine with torches or echo with choirs. Instead, they glowed with moonlight, and their music was the rustle of leaves, the call of owls, the distant murmur of streams. The spirit that moved through this grove was not hurried. It did not command. It only whispered, teaching those who lingered the power of waiting, of slowing, of listening to the silence between breaths. Patience was the first lesson here. One could sit by the altar for hours and hear nothing at all. But slowly the forest would open. A bird would land close, unafraid. A breeze would stir, carrying the scent of unseen blossoms. The moss beneath your hand would feel warmer, as if alive. And in these gentle signs, the spirit spoke. Reflection was the second lesson. The altars of stone had stood for centuries, perhaps longer. They had watched countless seasons pass, spring flowers blooming and fading, summer storms sweeping through, autumn leaves falling in slow cascades, winters laying blankets of snow. The stones remembered. They remembered vows whispered by shepherds long gone. They remembered songs of maidens and chants of wandering monks. They remembered tears shed in secret and promises made in hope. Each mark of lichen, each crack in the stone, was a line in an endless book of devotion. To sit beside such an altar was to feel time itself slow, to realize that every heart, no matter how small, was part of a much greater story. And devotion, this was the heart of the grove. Here, people gave not with their hands, but with their being. They devoted their silence, their waiting, their breath. They devoted their love for life, for the unseen, for the mystery that moved through trees and stone alike. The hidden grove taught that devotion did not always need words. Sometimes the truest prayer was a steady presence, a life lived in quiet respect, like the moss itself, which clothed the stones without demand, without pride, simply and fully. Imagine yourself now within this grove. The trees are tall, their branches heavy with leaves that filter the moonlight into soft pools. The ground is cool, the moss thick, like nature's own carpet. You kneel before one of the old altars. The stone is damp beneath your hand, but steady, strong, eternal. You close your eyes. The world narrows to breath, to silence, to the gentle touch of the night. Your thoughts drift like clouds. Some rise, then fade. Some linger, then dissolve. You do not chase them. You do not hold them. You simply let them go, as smoke vanishes into sky. In this quiet surrender, you feel yourself become lighter. The weight of the day softens. The noise of the world falls away. Only stillness remains. The grove holds you, as it has held countless souls before. It does not hurry you. It does not ask anything of you. It only surrounds you with quiet, with patience, with the beauty of solitude. Even here, you are not alone. For above the stars gleam, ancient and watching. Beside you, the trees breathe, slow and deep. Beneath you, the earth rests, steady and kind. And within you, the same quiet spirit that filled the grove begins to glow, gentle as a lantern in the night. Time in the hidden grove is different. Minutes stretch into hours. Hours soften into timelessness. You may sit until the moon sets, until the first light of dawn spreads across the forest. And when you rise, when you step from the grove, you carry something unseen. A calmness, like water carried in cupped hands. A patience, like a seed waiting beneath the soil. A devotion, quiet yet steady, like moss clinging to stone. The hidden altars remain behind, waiting for the next pilgrim, the next wanderer, the next soul in need of silence. They will always wait. They are guardians of patience, of reflection, of quiet devotion. And though the grove is hidden, though no path is marked on any map, it is never truly lost. For the grove is not only in the forest, it is also in the heart. A secret altar of stillness, waiting in every soul. Whenever you close your eyes, whenever you breathe slowly and let silence grow, you enter it again. Now, let the image of the grove rest within you. See the moss soft and green. See the stones strong and silent. See the moonlight falling like silver blessings upon the earth. Let yourself breathe with the forest. Slow, patient, steady. Let yourself kneel beside the stone altar within. Let yourself be still. The night is deep. The stars keep watch. The grove is hidden, yet it is yours. Now rest as the trees sway gently. Now rest as the altars whisper softly. Now rest as the stars return to their quiet places in the sky. Let us drift onward, into the next chapter of the dream. The night is calm. The stars shimmer faintly, like drops of silver on dark silk. The air carries the cool hush of twilight, and in the distance, a glow begins to rise. It is the glow of fire. Not a fire that destroys, but one that heals. Its warmth is soft, its light gentle. It calls not with urgency, but with calm invitation, like a quiet voice saying, "Come closer, rest, and be renewed." The path before you winds toward it. Each step is slow, each breath deep. And as you move, the world grows quieter. The only sound is the rustle of leaves, the steady pulse of your heart, and the soft hum of the fire waiting ahead. In many lands across ages long past, fire was seen as more than flame. It was spirit. It was breath. It was life itself, dancing in gold and red. People would gather around sacred fires to seek renewal. They would bring what was heavy in their hearts and offer it to the flame. Old fears, old griefs, old doubts, given to the fire so they might be lifted away, turned into smoke, turned into light. The fire did not judge. It only received. It only transformed. And in return, it offered warmth, comfort, and the soft reminder that every ending is also a beginning. The ancients told stories of travelers lost in darkness. Cold winds pressed against them. Shadows stretched long across their paths. But when they found a fire, even a single ember, they found their way again. The flame gave them direction. Its light guided their steps. Its warmth filled their bones. It whispered to them, "You are not lost. You are returning. Step by step, you will find yourself again." These were the fires of renewal. Fires that healed the weary, guided the wandering, and lit the way home. Imagine now that you are before such a fire. It burns in the open air, its sparks rising slowly into the night sky. The wood crackles gently, like a voice speaking in soft tones. The glow touches your face, warm and steady, while the rest of the forest remains cool and dark. You sit before it, and the fire welcomes you. It does not ask you to speak. It does not ask you to explain. It only burns, patient and kind, waiting for you to release what you no longer need. You breathe in deeply. The fire flickers. You breathe out slowly. The fire sighs with you. Your heart begins to loosen, as though knots inside are gently unwinding. Across cultures, flames were seen as bridges. They connected the earth below to the heavens above. Smoke rose upward like prayers, like dreams carried into the stars. And light shone outward, keeping away the cold and the dark. To sit before the fire was to sit between worlds, half in the realm of stone and soil, half in the realm of spirit and sky. This meeting place was sacred because it held both silence and song, both ending and beginning. In some places, people would place herbs into the fire. The smoke that rose was said to cleanse the body, to soothe the spirit, to carry healing into every breath. In others, people would walk slowly around the flames, letting their shadows fall away, as though the fire consumed the weight of all they carried. Always, renewal was the gift. Not a sudden change, not a loud transformation, but a quiet return, like dawn returning after the longest night. As you watch the fire now, you may imagine your own heaviness being lifted. Each crackle is a reminder that even the hardest wood becomes light when touched by flame. Each ember is a reminder that even the smallest spark carries warmth enough to heal. You feel yourself soften. The fire glows in your chest, gentle and calm. It does not burn. It only warms, like sunlight resting on water, like dawn spreading across hills. You let go, little by little. You let go of what is past. You let go of what weighs too much to carry. You let go, and the fire carries it upward, into the night, into the endless sky. The ancients would speak of renewal as a circle. The fire eats the wood, but from that ash the soil is fed. From the soil, new life grows. From new life, wood returns. And again, the fire rises. So too is the spirit. Pain turns to healing. Grief turns to wisdom. Endings turn to beginnings. And always the circle continues. You feel that circle now. A rhythm older than memory. A cycle older than time. You belong to it, as surely as the flame belongs to the night. The fire before you glows softer now. Its flames are lower, its sparks gentler. But its warmth lingers, and its light is steady. You feel safe here, as if the fire is keeping watch over your rest. Above, the stars gleam like 1,000 small embers. The night is vast yet kind. The world breathes slowly, and you breathe with it. The fire of renewal has done its work. It has taken what was heavy. It has given you back what is light. It has reminded you of beginnings, of cycles, of the endless patience of time. Now let the fire fade within your mind. See its glow soften. See its sparks drift into the dark. Feel its warmth remain inside your chest, a small ember that will never leave. You carry it always, this gentle light, this quiet renewal. The night grows still again. The stars shine in silence, and you rest renewed whole at peace. Let us drift onward, into the next chapter of the dream. The night is calm. Above the quiet earth, the moon lingers, full and radiant. Its silver light spreads across the land like a gentle veil, softening every shadow, smoothing every edge. The world seems to breathe more slowly under its glow, as if even the wind has hushed to listen. You drift into this stillness. The sky above you is wide, scattered with stars that twinkle like distant lamps lit in silent temples. The air carries the faint scent of night flowers, blooming only for the moon. The earth beneath your feet is cool, touched by dew. And somewhere nearby, water moves in steady rhythm, a river singing its ancient song. Here in this quiet, rituals begin. They are not loud, not hurried, not meant to dazzle. They are soft gestures of devotion, carried out under the gaze of the moon. The night itself feels like a temple, vast and infinite, with the moon as its eternal lamp. Long ago, people gathered when the moon was full. They walked to sacred clearings, or to stone altars hidden deep in groves. They carried offerings in their hands, bowls of milk, fresh bread, flowers cut at dawn, or simple grains gathered from their fields. Every gift was small, yet given with sincerity, and that made it holy. They would light fires, not to burn brightly, but to glow gently, guiding them as they prayed. The flames flickered like whispering spirits, reflecting the stars above. Soft chants rose from their lips, not sharp words, but flowing hums that moved like waves across the night air. Each voice blended with another until there was no separation, only one sound, low and steady, as if the earth itself was singing. The moon was seen as a mirror of the soul. It waxed and waned, grew bright and dim, just as human hearts shifted through joy and sorrow, fullness and emptiness. To stand beneath, it was to remember that change was natural, that every loss would circle back into light again. And so, the offerings were not only for the gods, they were also for the heart. To set down flowers upon the altar was to lay down worry. To pour milk upon the soil was to release longing. To place bread beneath the stars was to give thanks for the simple gift of life. Imagine now that you are there, walking slowly through a grove beneath the silver sky. The trees stand tall and silent, their leaves glowing faintly where moonlight touches them. Your steps are soft, cushioned by moss and fallen leaves. Ahead you see a circle of stones, worn by countless years, their surfaces marked with offerings past. Candles flicker at their base, flames bending with the soft breath of night. You sit before the altar. The moonlight spills across it like a stream of milk. In your hands is a small offering, perhaps a flower, perhaps a handful of water from the river. It does not matter what it is. What matters is the stillness with which you place it, the quiet intention that flows from your heart. As you set it down, you feel lighter. The weight you carried begins to soften, like mist fatting under morning sun. The air around you holds this offering, carries it, lifts it toward the stars. And in that moment, the silence deepens. It feels as though the earth accepts your gift, the moon blesses it, and the night itself hums in gentle reply. Stories tell that in ages past, the moon guided wanderers. When paths were hidden in shadow, its light showed the way. When storms cleared, its glow returned, a sign of endurance and hope. And so, rituals beneath the moon were more than devotion. They were reminders that guidance is always present, even when hidden. Some traditions placed bowls of clear water in the moonlight. The surface would shimmer, and those who gazed into it believed they could see visions, glimpses of the future, whispers of memory, or the reflection of their truest self. Others tied ribbons to branches, letting them flutter in the night breeze, sending their prayers into the air like birds released into the sky. Still others simply sat in silence, allowing the silver glow to bathe their faces, believing that this alone was a form of blessing. No ritual was ever rushed. The moon moved slowly, and so did the people. Each breath was part of the offering. Each heartbeat was a quiet prayer. You feel it too, as you sit in this imagined grove. The silver light rests gently upon your skin, like a cool hand upon your brow. The air is full of quiet voices, though no one speaks aloud. It is the voice of time itself, slow and steady, reminding you that all things are cycles. Every night will yield to dawn. Every emptiness will return to fullness. Every silence will one day bloom into song. And so you breathe. You offer not only the flower or the water you carry. You offer your breath, your stillness, your very being. And in return, the night offers peace. As the chants fade, the fires grow dim. The offerings rest where they were placed, waiting for the morning sun. The moon, ever patient, drifts higher into the sky, watching silently over all. The worshippers bow their heads, their hearts calm, their spirits quiet as flowing rivers. In the stillness, a truth lingers. That devotion need not be grand. That peace can be found in the smallest gesture. That beneath the silver glow of the moon, every soul shines, every heart reflects, every offering, no matter how simple, becomes sacred. The night deepens now. The chants are gone. The fires flicker their last. Yet the moon remains, steady and bright. It lights your path as you step back from the altar, carrying not burdens but ease. The forest whispers softly. The river hums its endless hymn. And above, the stars continue their patient watch. Let the moonlight stay with you as you drift. Let it wash gently through your thoughts. Let it carry your heart into stillness, your mind into quiet, your spirit into rest. The night is calm. The moon is full. The offerings are given. Peace has returned. Now let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep as the moon keeps watch. The evening drifts toward silence. The day has given all its light, and now only the tender colors of twilight remain. The sky, once bright, softens into deep shades of blue and violet. The last birds call to one another before folding their wings for rest. A hush spreads across the earth, as though the world itself exhales. In this fading hour, the final embers glow. They burn low, yet steady, on forgotten altars hidden in groves and on mountain stones. Their flames no longer roar. They do not reach or consume. They rest, glowing softly like the heartbeat of the night. You step into this moment as if stepping into a dream. The air is cool, touched with the faint scent of ash and pine. The ground beneath you is warm where the fire's breath has lingered, and cool where shadows stretch. Above, the first stars pierce the deepening sky, delicate and patient. The balance of fire and starlight is gentle, almost fragile, and deeply soothing. Long ago, people believed that fire was alive. It was not only flame but spirit, moving, dancing, speaking without words. They gathered around small fires in the dark of night, whispering prayers into its glow. It was said that the fire carried their words upward, into the invisible realms. Each spark that rose was a message lifted on the wind. At dusk, when the rituals of the day had ended, the last flames were left to burn low. Priests and wanderers, families and pilgrims, all knew the quiet beauty of the fading fire. It was a teacher of patience, a guide of endings. For in the slow dimming of flame, one could see life's own rhythm, how all things rise, shine, and eventually return to stillness. Stories tell that the gods of fire were not only fierce, but also kind. They renewed the weary, warmed the lost, and lit the path home. And so, to watch the last embers was to watch the very spirit of gentleness, a fire that no longer consumed but only comforted. Imagine yourself now beside such an altar. The stones are rough, worn smooth at the edges by countless hands. Ashes gather in the center, where a small fire still flickers. Its glow is faint but steady, pulsing like a sleeping heart. The flames bend and curl, whispering to the cool night air. You sit close, and the warmth reaches you. It is not harsh, not burning, but soft, like a shawl drawn across your shoulders. The fire does not demand your attention. It simply offers its glow, a quiet companion in the deepening night. As you breathe, your breath seems to join with the fire's rhythm. Your inhales are the draw of air. Your exhales are the sigh of smoke. The boundary between you and the flame blurs. You are both still, both glowing in the gentle hush of evening. The ancients said that in the last flicker of a fire, visions could appear. Not in bright blaze, but in soft glow, when the world is quiet enough to listen. They would gaze into the embers, seeing shapes and patterns, reading the stories written in the red and gold. Some saw the faces of ancestors. Some saw rivers and mountains they had never visited. Some saw nothing at all, only stillness, which was itself a blessing. To look into a dying flame was to remember that every ending is also a doorway. When the fire becomes ash, the soil is nourished. When night falls, dawn waits beyond it. When silence comes, it carries the seed of song. The last flicker, then, is not a loss, but a reminder that everything rests before rising again. The grove around you grows darker. The trees are tall shadows, their leaves barely trembling in the cool night air. The stars multiply above, patient and serene, like watchful eyes. Yet the small glow of the altar fire continues, steady and kind. You reach down, perhaps to place a small offering, a leaf, a stone, even the whisper of a thought. It does not matter what you give. The fire receives it gently, its glow wrapping around it like a blessing. In this act, simple and unhurried, you too are blessed. The warmth seeps deeper now. It touches not only your skin, but your spirit. It moves through you like a soft tide, easing every corner of your being. It tells you, without words, that you are safe. That endings are gentle. That stillness is holy. All across the earth, fires fade at the close of day. Some are great bonfires, reduced to a soft bed of coals. Others are small lamps in temples, their oil nearly gone. And some are humble hearths in quiet homes, glowing faintly as families rest. Each one, no matter how small, is part of the same rhythm. They are little suns, guiding the night with warmth and memory. They are echoes of the first fire, the one said to be given by divine hands, teaching humans how to survive the dark. And as each fire lowers, the stars above shine brighter, as though taking up the task of light. You linger by the altar, watching as the flames shrink lower. The glow is soft, like fading twilight painted upon stone. Your body relaxes, drawn deeper into the rhythm of the night. The fire flickers one last time, a small flare of gold. Then it settles into glowing ash, warm and steady, refusing to vanish too quickly. The silence now is full. Not empty, but full, of memory, of peace, of unseen blessings. The world feels vast, yet gentle, and you are cradled within it. Let the last flicker guide you inward. Let it remind you that there is no need to rush. Even the fire with all its power rests. Even the sun, mighty and radiant, bows to night. Even the heart, with all its beating, finds its calm. So now, let yourself rest as well. Let the warmth remain with you, quiet and steady. Let the stars take watch above you. Let the night carry you deeper, softer, safer. The evening has ended. The embers are at peace. The fire has given its light, and now it sleeps. And so may you. Now drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep as the last flicker of evening fades into night.